Folks, check out this interview we got coming up. It's a very special guest from the hills of North Carolina. Michael has been making some pretty controversial predictions online over the last couple of years. He's actually predicted some things that are coming up that are very, very controversial. Michael's got close to 500,000 views online of his videos. It's generating a lot of interest online, and we were fortunate enough to have Michael on the show. Check it out.
Hey guys, I'm here with Michael Beckham. He's from Western North Carolina. That's God's country up there. He's got some interesting topics that he addresses pretty often, and he's got a pretty good fan base out there that watches him. His videos have actually been viewed over 435 times in the last year. Michael's YouTube channel name is PatrioticSpace, and he's actually got a website too, patrioticspace.whynotnews.eu. Michael's videos range from everything from harp to pole shifts to silent sound
spread spectrum technology.
Got you. That was real hard for me to say in a real short period of time, Michael.
That's fine. I've got used to it.
Well, Michael, one of the things I really want to talk to you about today, and I think this is something that's really interesting to a whole lot of people out there, and I don't think anyone has actually helped any of us feel good about this or clear anything up, and that is, what's with all the dead birds falling out of the sky, Michael?
Well, when I first heard about the news, I automatically assumed it was HAARP, because if anybody's done any research on HAARP, which is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program that is run by the select military groups like the Air Force, Navy, and other universities. Anyways, it's a program that utilizes the ionosphere. It heats up the ionosphere and focuses a focal point of energy back down through our atmosphere. The energies actually create a focal point, like a lens, in the atmosphere, which actually intensifies the energies that are being radiated from these antennas at the HAARP facilities. Anyhow,
Michael, let me interrupt you real quick, and I do apologize. The ionosphere, for those viewers out there that have an intelligence level similar to mine, explain real quick what the ionosphere is so we know where this is happening.
Okay, well, basically all I know is that the ionosphere is the uppermost layer of our atmosphere.
Okay.
And I know that it's very useful for radio frequencies, what used to be television frequencies, all kinds of different communications, because it reflects the sound waves back down, the radio waves, frequencies, everything, it reflects it back down. It also helps to kind of keep our atmosphere in place, I'd say. I'd call it the outer skin of our atmosphere, and that's about it. But if anybody needs any real technical answers and things of that nature, I do have a partner in this. Her name is Jenny, and she happens to be one of my sources. She subcontracts for the federal government in a number of ways, including the Department of Energy. Anyways, they can get answers from her or in watching the videos. Me, I'm just a person that helps to connect the dots, basically.
Okay, cool.
So, getting back to the birds, I thought, well, birds and animals are extremely sensitive to electromagnetic energies. They also are able to make most of their navigation through their own internal GPS as far as the poles go. So anyhow, birds falling from the sky, automatically, first thing came to mind was HAARP. So I called my friend Jenny. We had a discussion, got off the phone. I was at work. She correlated a few things and figured out that the first 3 bird kills that were very first reported, Lamar, Louisiana, BB, Arkansas, and Gilbertsville, Kentucky, that those, if you draw a line from town to town, they form a 120-degree angle. Well, the thing that's so key about that is that the receivers, they're called digisons, they're HAARP receivers, they actually triangulate all of their signals and whatnot through a 120-degree formula, triangles, and basically it puts the focal point. What they're doing is they're triangulating, trying to find the focal point of the energies they're beaming back down on the Earth. And what's so interesting about that is that the focal point centers directly on top of the New Madrid seismic zone, one of the most active regions of that fault zone. So and then you go into thinking, well, that was the next interesting question that came for me after Jenny figured the correlation of HARP to it. I asked if it was near the New Madrid fault zone. At the time, I had never seen a map of BB, Arkansas. I mean, these are all unheard of towns until now, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways,
well, let me get this straight, Michael. These cities you're talking about, you said they fall along the New Madrid fault line. What exactly is that for those? I mean, we don't experience earthquakes and things like that along that fault line, so we're probably not real familiar with discussions on fault lines. Can you give us a brief description of the New Madrid fault line and where it's at and actually what it is?
Okay, well, the New Madrid fault line is, and once again, I'm just your everyday average Joe. I'm no scientist, so if my description is a little inaccurate or off, which I hope it's not, once again, they can get all the technical details from watching my videos, because I do include those details in there with the help of my friends. But getting back to the fault line, it's basically an older fault system. It was once very active, and now they consider it an older fault system. We have two major systems running through the United States. You've got the San Andreas fault system over on the west coast in California. For those of you who are always hearing about the big one, that's that fault line. And then you have the New Madrid fault line, which runs up the entire Mississippi Valley. So, and basically what a fault line is, it's a meeting place for tectonic plates. Tectonic plates, put simply, the Earth's crust. And when those things move, that's when they rub up against each other, that's what's called an earthquake. That's what causes the earthquake. So anyhow, and tying this all together, the bird kills, the HARP, you see, they can create earthquakes and change the weather with HARP as well. And I also know this. That's why I asked about the New Madrid fault zone being nearby. And so it occurred to me, these guys can scan a fault line with frequencies.
Who is they, Michael? Just to be clear here, who are we talking about? You say they and...
The people that run the program, the Air Force. You see, this program is originally intended for deep-sea communications. They can pass frequencies through the water down to a certain depth. At least that's the cover story for the guys. But it has a lot more capabilities, which are mentioned in the patents for this technology. Military applications, things of that nature, mind control. It's extremely alarming, but it's all in the patents. I know it sounds science fiction, but
no, it sounds like some good topics for future shows. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's all right. Well, you can create an earthquake with this because fault lines, when an earthquake goes off, the Earth is creating resonance, vibrations, frequencies. Well, the Air Force and all these other people who are behind the program who are not in the public eye, can create an earthquake by scanning a fault line with frequencies. And when the fault line shows seismic activity, they pretty much hit the so-called G-spot of the fault line. So then they know what range of frequencies will make that fault line active, because it creates resonance. Once they create resonance, you start shaking things loose. I mean, it's...
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Michael, haven't we, and again, I'm referring to memory here, I'm not looking at anything, hasn't there been even a small earthquake recently in Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, actually, there's earthquakes all along the fault line every day now, and have been for the last few years. They're not very publicly talked about. However,
but one has been. I know I heard about one here recently. I think it was in Arkansas, wasn't it? That they actually reported?
Yeah. Well, yes, they do report them. I mean, we don't hear about them on the news, but they are easily viewable by certain things like online internet seismic monitor servers that tell you. So, and USGS also has a website that shows the earthquakes in that region.
Gotcha.
And here lately, it's been anywhere from 10 to 20 a day.
Okay. Now, is that more than normal? Is that more than normal?
Why, sure. Okay. It's been increasing. I mean, like I said, they call it an old fault line, so it's actually getting back into becoming an active fault line, and it's being helped along with this technology that we were discussing. But the funny thing about all this is there's going to be a national level exercise event that surrounds the New Madrid seismic zone, and they're preparing a so-called quote unquote, preparing and drilling for this event if there's a 7-point or bigger on the Richter scale earthquake in this area? Well, the one thing people have to ask themselves is, the last time we had national level event exercises, one was the day of 9/11 when Dick Cheney was in NORAD over there in Colorado telling people don't shoot down jetliners, this is only a drill. And that day the drill was how to react in case of airliners hitting skyscrapers. So I can't consider that a coincidence on the very same day that airlines start hitting skyscrapers. Anyway, that's another story. So that was a national level exercise that was occurring, which actually happened. And then you have another event. 1 year ago in Haiti, they had that earthquake. Well, a week prior to that earthquake, FEMA was down there drilling, quote unquote, drilling for the event. And you also have the HARP website deleting all their data from the day the earthquake occurred in particular. So that should tell people something. So once again, they were drilling and preparing for an event, and it actually happened.
Now, Michael, for people out there that will automatically assume that you're just saying all this, where can you go to confirm these things?
Well, you can actually go to my channel on YouTube, watch the video. I have a series of 6 parts so far about the New Madrid fault zone, the birds and the animals, what's happening, and what we personally believe is behind this. We show actual pages on the internet where the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA are actually procuring like 140 million pre-prepared meals, 210 billion liters of water. They are scouting out for underwater body bags. And you see, if we had this event on a New Madrid fault zone, it would actually put the entire Mississippi Valley underwater. And this has already been shown in plenty of scenario maps that show what will happen in case of this event. So you got these guys actually ordering this stuff. They're putting out requests for information. That's what they call them. But there are actual orders being placed. In fact, our federal government is buying up all of the emergency pre-prepared meals and survival meals, MREs or whatever. They're the number one biggest customer today, right now. And you see, the funny thing about all this, all right, is that all of these requests for information that these agencies are making are all dated for the month of January this year, immediately after the bird kills. And then the one for body bags was put in by the Navy, and that was right at the end of last year, just a couple of days before the New Year's. So they know something's coming.
Now, is there places, I know you mentioned on your site you show these, but on your website when they go to watch these videos where you're talking about all this, do you actually point out the websites where the average person could go and confirm some of this stuff and get some information?
Why sure.
Okay.
In fact, in all of my videos on my YouTube channel, there are more detailed sections beneath the videos. They're located by the view count of the video. You'll see a little icon that's a double arrow. If you click that for more details of the video, I include links where they can actually go see for themselves where I'm getting my information. Not only that, I also show screen capture on my computer when I'm making the videos, so they can actually see the website right along with me as I describe and show them the official numbers, dates, requisition numbers, things of that nature.
Okay. All right, well, let's get back to real quick, and it sounds like we got a lot more things to cover, and again, for future shows. Let's talk about the birds. Now, why, in these areas, you mentioned the HARP that you believe caused this, why those particular times? Are they being tested all the time, and we're just not seeing birds fall from the sky, or are these specific events that are being tested? And I'm just curious if some events are going on that we're not sure about the testing. And
well, I would say that they're testing their equipment and actually trying to produce some type of seismic activity to see what their capabilities are.
Folks, that's some good stuff. Just want you to know that we have part 2 of Michael's interview coming up on the next show. Definitely encourage you to check it out. There's more good stuff on there. Whether you believe Michael or not, that's not for me to say. I form my own opinion one way or the other. It's real hard to debunk everything that Michael talks about, because in most cases on his videos he's either giving you a screenshot that you can go to those same websites and confirm what he's saying, So he's either giving you that or he's giving you some really good information, factual data. He's not just saying these things. He's actually giving you places to go to find out for yourself. Like Michael says in his videos, he's simply connecting the dots. It's up to us to go out and confirm whether or not Michael's right.